Next on the letter is the CCCD, which is the Chester County Conservation District Penn-vest application letter. This has to do with the DAR site over on Mount Pleasant Road. And they had sent us a letter either today or yesterday requesting that they meet with us next month because they have some changes on what they need to do to get ready for their Penn-vest application. But I think this is a good time. We had a meeting we were invited to the meeting with the Chester County Conservation District on their plans for the DAR. But since it was not a township meeting, we could not, as supervisor, the three of us attended, could not comment. We could only listen and ask questions. So we plan on using tonight to discuss what went over in our comments from CCCD. Is you want to do it?
You want me to take it for the other comments?
Yeah, I do. The one thing that's changing with Penn-vest is that the site up there right now is 2 acres, and the original request of Penn-vest. Penn-vest is I guess it's a combination of state and federal agency that had a lot of money, as tax dollars that have been put aside to rectify what they consider non-source point projects. And what they mean by that is for protecting waterways. And I believe a lot of this originally came out of protecting the Chesapeake and the Delaware Bays. So there's a substantial amount of money sitting out in Harrisburg for projects that would protect waterways that empty into the Chesapeake or the Delaware. A non-point source is defined by the state as being, say, if you own a piece of property or a waterway and somebody upstream from you had polluted the stream and it caused pollution on your property, then these funds would help you correct the problems that are on your property. Also, all agricultural endeavors are considered non-point source, whether they are the source or not. That's just the way the law is written. So the original Penn-vest grant that is being applied for by the Conservation District was just for 2 acres on the property on Mount Pleasant. And now it came back and it's been determined by the DEP and the Conservation District that they would rather put together a proposal to Penn-vest for the entire farm, which is almost 60 acres. I'm not sure that is between 50 and 60 acres up there. So that's the reason that they want to put it off. But the discussion that I want to have with my 2 colleagues here is is this something that we really want, and is this something that we really need in the township? And how is the township going to benefit from it? And what are the potentials for the growth up there? And some of the questions I had are, you know, some questions we have for the participants in this is who's going to own this building. What they're doing is they're putting in, they want to take the DAR site, that animal recovery site. For those that don't know what it is, it's a large animal composting site where they bring in carcasses and they mix them with materials and they make a compost out of it. And what they want to do now is they want to bring this inside the building rather than do it outside. And they're applying for Penn grants to do that. And one of the first questions that we had is if they're putting this building, a permanent structure in the state, the original request they had was for $900,000 for this building, is who's going to own the building? Is it going to be owned by the landowner, or is it going to be owned by the commercial operation that's leasing 2 acres up there? And we haven't gotten an answer on that. Other questions we had other questions that I have is if we have a 2-acre site up there, at what point does a farm occupation go from being a farm occupation to being an actual commercial business? So the point the township's trying to make on this is, and this is where we needed John Good's input, and unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight, is, is this legally a commercial enterprise up there, or is it a farm occupation business up there? What effect does this have on our zoning regulations that we have? What are the potentials when we talk tonight about the Greenways project that this county and the state have for the Brandywine? All this is along one of the tributaries of the Brandywine. What effects is that going to have on a creek if this site does become a permanent site up there? And with the state investing almost $1 million in on the property, we have to assume that once that building gets put up, the property is going to be involved in composting.
Is it a duration for that building would be 15, 20 years at a minimum? Yeah.
Well, yeah, we did. We asked them what the construction of the building is, and it's a canvas roofed building, and they just said that they would prepare it as they went along.
Yeah.
And so, John, I think you had a conversation. Did you have a conversation with John?
We actually we contacted him regarding more or less the fact of expansion, or if there's a new building proposed as part of the DAR site. It was John's opinion that that would qualify for a land development plan. So that would be something that actually would have to go through similar to Family Dollar or another commercial type of use. That would have to be submitted for review to the Planning Commission, Board of Supervisors, just like any other subdivision or land development plan would be proposed.
I was hoping that the other agencies would be here because I know DEP was going to be here and the conservation, so some of the questions I have will have to wait for next one. So, any other comments?
But if you're looking at $1 million for 2 acres, and what's the standard cost for 60 acres? It's going to be quite an expensive project. It's not directly the township funds, but it's still tax money being put into this.
Okay. Final open forum. Anyone have anything?
I have a I mean, why are we spending public money to correct something to let them continue the business? It doesn't make sense to me. We have not agreed with what they're doing for years. And they have not lived up to what they told the supervisors. And now, because the state has money, are we willing to let the state put them back in business? That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, hopefully, I mean, there's no question about it. I'm not happy with the way they operate up there. You know, and you're right, they haven't kept their promise on what they were going to do up there. When the leaching gets filled in that lagoon, they just turn the pump on and pump it out. But that's outside the jurisdiction of the enforcement of the township. We can't enforce any violation go up there. We can just report it to either DEP or ACT.
That's why I'm saying that Penn-vest wants you to agree to it, that they do this.
What Penn-vest needs is, I mean, I have a question too. The DAR, they don't want to recover, are the ones that are the applicants for the, for the Penn-vest money. But, you know, there's a question there, does that mean that DAR has to own the building? I mean, if they own the building, what type of land development regulations do they fall under with us, where they're a leasee on someone's property putting up a building? There are all the questions that we have from a standpoint of development in the township, meaning our ordinance. So,
Wanted to Dick's point is, if other farms would feel that this is an attractive way to make money, won't be just one site, but several, while the township is spending money to preserve and protect the environment. That's a difficult balance to achieve.
I don't think you'll find anyone on the board that doesn't think that composting is a good deal. There's no question about it. But is this the proper site for it? We have county, state, local, and even the city of Wilmington spending money to preserve land. While we have an operation on there that is currently or potentially polluting the same water that we're paying money to preserve.
With all the lack of cooperation from these people, I do not see why the Board of Supervisors would approve an application.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I don't think they'll change the way of operating. They might take the money to run.
Well, the good thing there is they can't, because they don't get the money.
I know, this is smart as you are.
I know.
I spoke to some farmers, and they've been doing the composting for a number of years. just on an occasional basis, but this is where you're putting anywhere from 15 to 20 animals per week. Has an impact. Some of the neighbors in the community were complaining about the smell and things like that. Was generated. So there's a lot of issues there.
Yeah, this is a real business, this is not an occasional thing.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, anything else for anyone? All right, I'm sorry.
I have something.
There's a question out here.
I live on Talbot Hill Road, and I came down tonight just to see if there's anything that you can suggest that I do to try and get that posted for speed limit.
Officer Oldick took note, and he said that he would advise, the Emeryville police that they need to, take a look at some of these areas. Start off with the welcome signs for Honey Brook. What we're looking to do is put 2 signs on 322 when you come in from the east end and the west end of town.
All right, upcoming meetings, February 23rd, Planning Commission's regular meeting at 7 p.m. And March 14th will be the Board of Supervisors' regular meeting at 6:30.
And to Mike, your next meeting for land preservation, 3rd Tuesday of March.
Okay, with that, I hear a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.